I'm Suzanne McMillan. I am an interior designer and fitness instructor of 20 years, and I have 5 young children. So I'm a full-time mommy also.
And I'm John McMillan from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm in the construction business. We do commercial carpentry.
I think the biggest reason was I'd say threefold. One is that the mission was very clear and the business model was very clear. It wasn't a lot of wishy-washy, well, this is your company, it's your machines, but it's our franchise, or that sort of thing. The second big thing is the advertising capabilities. Nobody else has that. That's a big deal.
Just the ability to have another stream of income in the business, and and the giving back to obesity. I think that was part of it, that the company's dedicated to, to their mission, and not just in words, but actually monetarily as well.
Yeah, and I think the last thing was support. It's very clearly delineated how the support happens. Some of these other companies, I think they give support, but it wasn't as clearly defined on how that happens.
And professionalism.
Yeah.
It's just the operation seemed more professional. The website was more professional, better information. The people you talked to were more professional.
Right.
They didn't talk about the other companies. They emphasized their company and what they did, and really did not comment at all on what the other companies were doing.
I think I talked to every single healthy vending company that exists.
We kind of narrowed it down to, was it 3 or 4, to kind of do a little bit more in-depth talking, get more information.
We did, a couple of the companies do webinars, and so we sat through some of those as well. I will say this, I mean, part of doing the research, once we made the decision, I felt very confident about it. And even though some of those other, I mean, it was a little heartbreaking in some ways for me to have to tell some of these guys that I've kind of been talking to for a long time, like, we made our decision and it's not you. I felt very confident about it, and when they tried to kind of repackage their sales pitch and however they're trained to do it, I felt very at peace and just was able to say, no, this is what we're going to do, and I appreciate your efforts, but I feel really good about it, and we feel really good about it. So I know that we made the right decision.
And I would recommend for anybody doing a healthy vending business or any other business, one, to do your research, but 2, when you pick a company, make sure that company's visions and goals are in line with yours.
Right.
And if it's not, then don't go with that company, and that's really what business is about, is discovering what your mission statement, your vision is, and then moving forward in that direction.
Yeah.
To me, human means change. I received a lot of inspiration. I guess if I could put it in an analogy, I told Suzanne yesterday that I was getting really excited about a new business, and now I'm even more excited about fighting obesity than I am the business aspect, which is probably a little backwards for me.
It's the why.
It's
and not the what.
it really is, the why really stuck with me, and to me that's human is helping, giving me the boost to do the things that I just wasn't pushing myself to do, that I think that empowered to do those things that I couldn't quite push myself to do.
To me, human means not only, hopefully, changing my family, but changing other families.
The thing that really intrigued us was that she's already buying all those things for our kids already, and she really saw the need because she carries snacks everywhere. She carries their drinks, she carries their snack everywhere, and if she forgets them, then she really struggles with buying them some kind of garbage somewhere.
I could probably feed a small country based on what I have in my bag at all times. It's true, and it is every single one of those products that you put in your machine. I try to be really organized, but there are definitely days where I just have to run out the door And so if it happens to me, it happens to everybody, and it happens to everybody tons of times. So to be able to, fill a void where it has never been, filled before, I think is a great, great opportunity. Anything I can do to make another mom's life easier is a little notch on my Good Samaritan belt.
And to some degree, it's going to make her life easier simply because, once that nutrition is readily accessible everywhere. Now she has more time because she doesn't have to pre-plan packing the snacks, She doesn't have to say, well, I've got to make sure that we get everything ready, 10 minutes ahead so I can get all the snacks packed, because if it's everywhere, she doesn't have to worry about it. If she doesn't have time to pack snacks, she knows she's going to be able to get it in certain places. Boom, she's out the door.
I know that you guys talk a lot about not putting our machine, human machines next to traditional snack vending machines because of brand recognition and because some of these other brands are so deeply embedded into some of these kids' memories. But really, if you're catching them, especially in, K through 8 schools, the more you put in front of them, the more they'll recognize it, and the more when they go to the grocery store with their mom, they say, hey, I want one of those, because I can get that at school. I think it's just, it's that positive reinforcement every time that they see it. Is just another opportunity to, ingrain it for life. So the more they see it, the easier it is for them to get. I can't think of any better way to do that.
The other businesses we looked at, I think only one actually placed their own machines. Most of them just do the $500 service. And through doing our own research, we found out basically how they do that. Somebody's contracted to go around, knock on doors, find a place, throw the machine in there. And, it's not going to work, it's going to place a machine, but it's not going to place a profitable machine in the correct place. And I think in just looking at the way the system works and everything, is that it's not about getting places that will let you put your machine there, but it's about getting places that'll let you put your machine there where that place is right for a machine, and that's part of the qualification process. So, I may think, hey, this Y is great to put in there, but I didn't think to ask the question, how much foot traffic are you getting a day? Where are you going to place the machine? How does this fit in line with your business model? Does your business model line up with our business model? So, not knowing all that stuff, you're just going to rush into it. And human thinking about all those things and lining it all up, it just makes it more successful, not only for human and for the partners, but also for the locations that are getting it.
I don't see how it could work much better. They're not flimsy. They don't look flimsy. They don't sound flimsy. They sound like they look like they're quality machines, and they sound like they are. And pretty confident about that.
Yeah, all the machines we looked at, I think all but one were all coil type machines. And I could basically go online and find who the manufacturer was and then try to figure out, who was using what machine and where they were getting it from.
Right.
But actually putting my hands on it and working on these machines today and seeing how they work and operate, I think it makes it a little more real as to what the difference in the machines are.
We're starting with 10 to 15. I think we're for sure 10, depending on how LDA turns out. I think might be 15. How many machines can you provide us with? I think we'd love to be at, 50, 100 machines in, 5 years.
Learned a long time ago that if you set the bar right here, that's probably where you're going to get. But if you set the bar way up here, it's no telling where you can take it. I have my own business and I have about 32 employees, and one of the hardest things to do is for people to like their job and be excited about their job and want to come to work every day. And the guys at Human, the guys and girls, people like working here, and there's no faking that. You can see it on their faces. You can see it when you talk to them. And that says everything about a company. When the people like to work here, like to work in a place, and they want to work there, that says everything about an organization. And you know, it's real here. It's not contrived or people trying to put on a face. It's there. You can't fake it.
You know, I think everybody's got their own story, but it's all a similar story. You know, we're all just, you know, trying to get into something different and something kind of cutting edge and trying to be trendsetters and not, you know, behind the pack. And so I think it's all, you know, similarly minded people. And that's really, I mean, I always think that's a neat thing to be able to, you know, come together with a group of people who are, you know, all in it for a common goal and trying to do their own thing in their own place, but we're all kind of going through everything together. So it's cool. I love being a social entrepreneur because I think it taps into the skills that I probably have the most of or the best or whatever, and translates that into lots of different things. Financial gain, social change. I think it capitalizes on my talents and skills.
Part of your legacy in this life is what you leave behind. And it's great that you have kids and you teach those kids, but we all, if you don't leave a mark, what are you really doing here, you know? And so I think it's everyone's responsibility to do something that's helpful. You know, you have to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And it's different for everybody. Everybody can pick what their responsibility in life is going to be, but you need to figure out something that, you know, you contribute to, that contributes to our society as a whole to progress and not regress. I was recently in Disney World, and we had already started looking into the healthy vending, so it was really on the forefront of my mind. And as I'm walking around Disney World, to me it seemed like every single person, every family was obese, and all I could see was the candy in their hands and the popsicles in their hands, and you look around and there's nothing to eat but garbage. And I'm thinking to myself, we got to do something, you know? I mean, one person can't do everything, but if everybody does a little something, then we'll get somewhere.